Hello everyone, I am the founder of PlaceJam, a digital placemaking consultancy which transforms your vacant spaces into playable places. Some of the most viewed landscapes don't physically exist. They are programmed and procedurally generated spaces within video games. Developers reinterpret the landscape as game environments, and sometimes these environments are the core focus of the games. They often take their influence from real-world environments, and given the number of people now playing, it raises an important question over just how pivotal a role these games are playing in shaping society's perceptions and expectations of the landscape. It's not only children and adolescents who are playing the games, it's adults and older generations as well. In fact, the average age of a gamer is actually 33, with an equal split of men and women gaming. So I'm a landscape architect, and a lot of my experience has involved creative community engagement. One of the more notable bits of community engagement was for a playground in a council area that I used to work in. And to find out about which sorts of outdoor play children considered the most fun, I prepared an image board, which you see centrally on this slide. And it included a number of interpretations of outdoor play, but I thought I would also include some interpretations of play within video games. So that included some images of things like Minecraft. And lo and behold, the one that they selected the most as a part of that consultation process was the picture of Minecraft. And that really spoke volumes to me about just how important they hold virtual landscapes as a part of their experience of the landscape. I've also been quite involved with game jams, and that's actually where the name Place Jam came from. So what is Place Jam? Well, it's a crowdsourcing of ideas for location-based games, which are prepared by teams of mixed disciplines from the local population. And I say the local population because these are the people who know the most about the places that they live in. So as I mentioned, Place Jam is inspired by game jams, but also hackathons. The difference is Place Jams identify a specific physical location for the project to occur, hence the name. This integrates themes and content within the game, and that leverages off the surrounding context. And this contributes towards an enabled landscape. So what is that? So this is personal computing that enhances and amplifies the physical experience of simultaneously arriving at and traveling through the landscape via seamless and live computer-generated sensory inputs that are uniquely associated to that place. Landscape being both the visible features of an area and how they integrate with natural or human-made elements, and also the historic, cultural, and personal significance of the landscape, its sense of place, or in short, the AR that intersects with the landscape. So PlaceJam creates ideas for outdoor locations. But where have location-based games emerged from? Well, geocaching was an early example in the early 2000s, and this gained a bit more traction in the underground scene, but it didn't quite hit the mainstream, certainly not in the same way that Ingress and eventually Pokemon Go has. The user numbers are huge, and it demonstrates how successful location-based games can be in getting people outdoors. Japanese McDonald's made all of their restaurants Pokestops and Pokegyms, and this demonstrated a clear commercial connection that games could have with physical locations. But it does raise a question on how tangible these links are between the game and the location that they're being played. What relevance do they have to that setting in terms of a sense of place? Smartphone ownership has now risen to over 78% amongst Brits. I'm sure you've all seen public locations dominated by people on their smartphones, missing the world go by, and walking into the occasional lamppost. So we're playing on the move, which is great. We're more active. But it doesn't solve the detachment that we have with our surroundings. PlayJam reconnects people with their surroundings by focusing on context as a balance between the physical and the augmented landscape. So PlayJam considers every vacant space as a potential opportunity, and there's a range of spaces which a PlayJam could be applied to, and this can include playgrounds and high streets, and also town squares. It's clear to me that these spaces haven't evolved in the same way that technology has, and we don't actually have clear connections anymore between the screen-based technology that we're using and the physical locations that we're in. It could also be applied to heritage sites, where you're not really inclined to make any changes to the physical infrastructure that are in place. It could also be applied to hospital sites as well, where there's plazas that aren't particularly well used, or even rural locations. So PlaceJam is a 7-stage process that transforms vacant spaces into playable places. It includes a marketing stage, which sets out a scope, identifies the benefits of outdoor games, and particular locations to activate. It can identify certain issues that need to be addressed, identify a target audience, and local themes and modes of play, and the types of devices and technology that could be used. As a part of a client consultation stage, it involves the formation of a design brief that comes out of startup meetings, site analysis, strategic review, literature review, identifying the right stakeholders, and a data management protocol. As part of a PlaceJam stage, which is really where the game ideas come about, this comes out of the design brief as well, and involvement of the particular stakeholders who attend. And through the formation of teams and analysis of the space in question, concepts can be developed, followed by demos. And then the concepts for these ideas can be critiqued at the end of each session. In the design review stage, a design report can illustrate the most plausible ideas and associate cost estimates with each of these ideas. Should these ideas gain traction, it then enters a design development stage, which involves the creation of a demo. This involves delivery partners and is delivered across an identified timeframe for delivery. This is followed by a product testing stage and eventually a product launch. So here are some of the key benefits of PlaceJam. It encourages more active behavior and therefore better health. This is a comparison with domesticated games that are more sedentary. The additional foot traffic that the games create are better for local business. And in context that these games embed, raise awareness of people's surroundings. There's more involvement with the local community, and they become empowered as local stakeholders. And there's more functionality within the spaces as a result of the creation of the app, therefore creating more enabled landscapes. And it's more sociable versus domesticated gaming. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for the next blog entry.